Hey, what's up with you? This your boy C again, coming to you live from Black News. I wanted to talk about this Bill Cosby situation. I noticed for months now they've been talking about this Bill Cosby situation where Bill Cosby's supposed to have raped, like, I think it's something to the effect of like 50 white women and like 7 or 8 women that wasn't white. Well, I've been analyzing this situation for months and months, ever since they first started talking about it. I think it's going on a year now, if I'm not mistaken. And I've really researched a lot, and I even heard his lawyer talk, Monique Presley, and a lot of her views I agreed with. I seen her on Huffington Post with Mark Lamont Hill, Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, to be respectful. And when I was looking at a lot of the stuff that I heard them discuss, it made me want to look at other views. So I seen other views that were on video on YouTube, and I watched her also when she was talking with I think her name is Ashley Banfield on CNN, and I watched Monique Presley in several interviews, and this is what I noticed. I noticed that a lot of the things that he's been accused of, they don't even hold weight. But my whole argument is this: how does an African American man rape numerous white women, never be held responsible for any of his acts, yet in the midst of that, he continues to go on with his entire life and be married and have children and go on to have success, but nothing bad has ever happened in the sense of him being held accountable as far as the law is concerned? So, as if he's exempt. Now, we know an African American man in America is treated worse than any other man. You don't believe that? Was 864,000 African American men in a prison system in America. Okay, which will basically mean that number is higher than any other nationality of man in America, considering African American people only make up 13% of the nation, which will show you there's a certain systemic racism, or social injustice, if you will. So whenever you talk about Bill Cosby, how is he exempt? He's an African American man. And America has never really liked African Americans, just based on history. This is not based on my opinion. I'm not talking from a person that is opinionated. I'm talking from a person that is a studier of history. A person is rather studious when it comes down to America's history, especially African American history. So I'm talking as a student. I'm not talking from my personal opinion. None of this is based on opinion. This is all based on facts. There's statistics and data behind what it is that I'm saying right now. So if you take a look, African American people have never been accepted in America, but some kind of way this African American man managed to rape women and be a serial rapist for years and years and years and years and years. 50 years he raped white women and never has been convicted. Did you hear what I just said? Let me repeat that part. For 50 years an African American man raped numerous white women, but never went to jail. That's bullshit if I ever heard it, and I call bullshit when I see it. So that's a fact. Now that part is my opinion, but what I said as far as how African American people have been treated in America, that part you can't argue with. There's just too much we can look at, from Jim Crow, the legacy of white supremacy. You want to talk about how education needs to be reformed in the African American community. You want to talk about how financial institutions redline African American communities. I mean, there's so much we can look at whenever you talk about how African American people are treated in America, especially dealing with the law. But the whole thing is, Bill Cosby didn't rape anybody. That's why I said William H. Cosby didn't rape anybody. What he probably did was slept with a number of women, did not promise them what he told them he was going to give them, and now they're angry. So one hollered rape, and it just became like a domino effect, or a chain effect, if I'm using the wrong terminology, excuse me. What you're dealing with here is a smear campaign, basically. You have an African American man that means a lot to people, not just African Americans. He means a lot to people. There are many people that have stated they've patterned themselves after Bill Cosby. There are many white comedians that revere him. So whenever you talk about African American people, you remember the treatment we've suffered. Okay, after you remember that, remember this: Bill Cosby cannot rape several white women be rapists of many years. They say a lot of rape victims don't come out. Well, that means that he really raped about 200-300 white women then, and they're just not coming out. And you believe that? So over a period of 50 years, this man just raped numerous white women. He had a lot of time on his hands. So, you know what I'm saying? Basically, for the most part, what I'm trying to get people to understand is this man didn't do anything. What he did do, for the most part, was go around certain people. Maybe he made some people mad. Maybe he didn't even have sex with anybody. But he angered some people, maybe, and they're coming after him. Maybe there's some things that took place that we don't know about. And I just want to let y'all know that. Signing out. This your boy C. And anybody got a problem with what I'm saying, you're in denial. Check out my white denial video.